עכשיו לאישה שהיא המורה למשחק של ברד פיט והלי ברי ושרליז תרון, שמה איוואנה צ'בק. היא הגיעה לביקור בישראל כדי ללמד את השחקנים שלנו איך עושים את זה נכון, לפי האידיאולוגיה שלה. אגב, אם החיים שלכם יפים, הסיכוי שתהיו שחקנים גדולים לא גדול. בן מיטלמן פגש אותה.
What do Brad Pitt, Halle Berry, and Charlize Theron have in common? No, they're not just big box office guarantees. They learned how to act from the same teacher.
בהוליווד יש לאיוואנה צ'בק מעמד מיוחד, מעמד של אותם אנשים ששמם מוזכר על בימת האוסקר בכל חנוק מדמעות.
I'm so honored. I'm so honored. And I thank the Academy. I want to thank Ivanna Chubbuck. I could have never figured out who the heck this lady was without you. I love you.
ובתור מאמנת המשחק של כמה מהגדולים בתחום, צ'בק גם לא מתביישת לקחת לעצמה קרדיט.
Most of the people I worked with became stars because of the work that I gave them.
היא גם חושפת בשמחה את קשריה עם הכוכבים, אלה לדוגמה זיכרונותיה הראשונים מברד פיט.
When he just got off the boat from Missouri, I mean, he was like nobody. He was a little chubby. He had a little bit of a skin problem. And so I remember thinking when I first met him was, and if he lost a little weight and he got some skincare, he'd be really hot.
עכשיו צ'בק היהודייה בישראל באה כדי לקדם ספר חדש שכתבה ולהעביר סדנאות משחק לשחקנים שלנו. השיטה שלה, כפי שהיא מסבירה, בעיקרה פסיכולוגית, להוציא את הרגש, להתעכב על הנקודות החלשות והכואבות של כל שחקן.
I had an ex-husband, and I hated him. There's just no doubt I hated him. And so I said, but I was trying to find someone to think about when I was doing the scene. I tried my mom, dad, the guy I had a crush on. Nothing was working. So I tried him, and what happened was, like, all this stuff came up.
זו גם מסתבר השיטה שהצליחה כל כך עם שרליז תרון בתפקידה הדרמטי בסרט מונסטר.
I finally went to a class in Los Angeles with this wonderful teacher called Ivanna Chubbuck. Ivanna taught me how to take my emotion and take everything that has happened in my life to make me an effective actor. The stakes have to be high, and so it was really an interesting place for me to kind of stand on my feet and fall on my face many times.
Is the acting coach to the stars, a woman who has trained Halle Berry, Charlize Theron and Brad Pitt, just to name a few. Her innovative methods empower actors, both on screen and off, and we're pleased to have Hollywood's secret weapon, Ivanna Chubbuck, with us here in the studio. Good morning to you.
Hello.
A lot of kids out there, and even people that are older than the children's age, who want to be a star or want to be an actor. What should they do?
Work ethic, training, really just like Brad Pitt and Charlize Theron when they were in class, they were not only working 3-4 hours a day rehearsing their scenes, but they wouldn't go to parties, they wouldn't socialize because they were busy breaking down their scripts, auditing my other classes, and just being very hard workers. But the other element, which is probably even more important, which is the risk factor. You have to be fearless. You have to not be afraid to look stupid in front of other people and be able to do anything, because that's what really makes people feel, that fearlessness makes you want to be like them.
I want to talk to you about what is it that you can do that makes you so significant that you are thanked in an Oscar speech by Halle Berry? What is it that you are so fantastic at?
Well, I'd like to take away all that fantastic stuff and just say I'd like to be humble and say that when I work with an actor, it's a symbiotic relationship. I learn off of them, they learn off of me. A good teacher always keeps learning. I'm always having revelations every time I work with somebody. And what we do was we take the negative things that are happening in someone's present life, figure out what needs to be fixed in that present person's life, and then we figure out in the script, how do we solve it in the script? So we take the pain and trauma of the actor themselves' lives, the pain and trauma of the character's life, fuse those together, find a solution. So we use the pain to accomplish something great with it, to find something wonderful about it, because most people self-destruct with pain, and they use that as an excuse to be a failure. So this way of working is taking pain and turning it into accomplishment. Is a great way to live your life too. Can you give me an example? Because I know you've been working with Jim Carrey, who's a big, I'm a big fan of him. So could you tell me, how did you change his career? Well, Jim Carrey first came to me, he called me up and he said, this was before he was famous. This was at a time when he had done a couple of shows and that they bombed and they blamed him for it. He couldn't even get an audition. He called me up and said, can you save my career? And I said, I can try. And so he came to the door and he was being Jim Carrey. He was like doing, I was like, hey, it's Jim Carrey. And then I gave him a script and then he decided he would just get really somber with it because he thought good acting was doing nothing. And actually good acting is taking chances, making bold choices. And so I told him, as long as it's real, as long as it's truthful, as long as it's desperate, comedy comes from pain. And the more pain you're in, the more funny you are.
I've got some pictures with you and Beyonce. Now, she is obviously gorgeous, wonderfully talented singer. I think she's a really good actress, too. And she's gotten better. Because of me. What have you done to help her get better? Well,
let's take the part itself, okay? On the page is a woman who's being manipulated by this man Jamie Foxx is playing. And instead of looking at how we're going to make the manipulation truthful and how she's going to play a victim, I think it's really important that people take the journey of empowerment. How am I actually driving the manipulation as opposed to being manipulated? Interesting. And what happens is that it becomes very kind of surreptitious. Underneath, it's like, even though she looks like she's the innocent being put to the head of the group, right. She kind of drove that with looks, with behavior, making him, Jamie Foxx's character, be aware that she wanted that and she was going to go for it. Subtly. So she's driving.
It strikes me you have to almost be part behavioral psychologist when you have to understand humans to be able to teach people how to behave in these various ways.
Absolutely. And the thing is, if you're going to break down a script to be able to recreate real human behavior, you got to go to the source, and behavioral science is the source. And that's the technique that I created is based in the science of behavior. What really makes people tick?
Oh my God. I am, thank you so much. I feel like I am the luckiest girl in New York tonight. I get to stand up here in front of all of you and thank you and tell you how much I love all of you in this magnificent Broadway community. I get to thank my beautiful cast, my Stockard, my Stacy, my Beth, my Tommy. I love being out there with you every minute. My wonderful designers who helped me create this character, Iwwana Czubek. If it were not for you, I literally would not be standing here. You have changed my life, as have all of you. I love you. Thank you. Daddy, this is for you.